Good morning, students. Good morning, students. So yesterday we start the second unit part 2, that is activity planning. Okay. So in this activity planning, we already discussed about identifying the activities. One of the activities activity-based approach. So here we are using a breakdown structure. This is used for the activities. And then another one is product based on approach. So here it consists of product based on structure, and also product flow diagram. Next we move to the next one, that is hybrid based approach. So this is a work breakdown structure and product based on structure. This is PFD. We already discussed yesterday all these topics. So today we are going to discuss about hybrid based approach. So before starting hybrid based approach, here the WBC is based entirely on, and work breakdown structure entirely based on structuring the activities, and PDF product breakdown. So here PDF is also based on project products. Okay. So here WBS has the analysis of structuring both product and activities. So here a hybrid approach is a combination of both activities and products. So hybrid approach is the combination of both activities and products. Okay. I am repeating the yesterday topics only. So here in activity we are using this product work breakdown structure. We have to divide the work into subparts. Okay. And in product based on approach, we have to PBS is there. So product breakdown structure, here product is divided into subparts, and here it consists of PBS, PFD. PFD is product flow diagram. So after representing the PBS, we are moved to the PFD. Okay. So hybrid based approach. So it is it consists. Hybrid approach is a combination of both activities and products. Okay. So here the following 5 levels are identified here. Project deliverables, components, work package, and task. So five levels are identified here. Okay, this is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. Okay. So in this 5 levels, what we have to do, we discuss now. So actually in level 1, we start the project. So that is the project. In level 2, we are performing deliverables such as software manuals and training courses, and user manuals or software. All these are performed in level 2 and level 3 components, which are the key items to produce the deliverables such as modules and tests are required to produce the system software. That is at level 3. Then we move to the level 4. In level 4, we move to the work packages, which are the major work items, collection of related tasks. All these comes under level 4. And level 5, tasks which are normally assigned to a single person. Level 4, the tasks which are normally assigned to a single person. So this is the pictorial representation of hybrid based approach model. So it consists 5 levels. Level 1 project, level 2 deliverables, 3 components, 4 work package, last one task assigned to the single person. Okay, task is nothing to assign the single person. Okay, clear? Next, move to the next topic after hybrid model. Next, we have moved to the network planning model. So the project activities and the relations are shown in this figures here. So the project activities and the relationships are shown in this figure. So here network time flows from left to right. See here from starts here left, then move to the right. Okay. So see this diagram. So here the network in the network, the time flows from left to right. So these techniques were originally developed in 1950s. The best known being is CPM and PAT. CPM means critical path method and PAT means program evaluation review techniques. Okay. So both of these used an activity and arrow approach to visualizing the project as a network where activities are drawn as arraying, joining, circles, or nodes, which represents the possible start or completion of activity or set of activities. Okay, so this is the IY maintenance group account project activity fragment with a checkpoint. So we already discussed here. So this is specific overall system is there. So I should divide into 4 modules. Then you put the check specification. Then it will split it design A, design B. Then it coded and the integrate the system. That this is end. So start here and here starts from left to right. So see in diagram we are using activity and arrow. So if start 1 specific, then we move to the 2, then into module A, module B, module C. First module A completed and module B, next module C, module D. Then we move to step 3. Then we have here specification. These are represented by an activity on node. Okay, so activity on arrow. We are representing activity on arrow. So this type of representation is called as a CPM. Okay, CPM means critical path method. So we are CPM method is in we will discuss in next slide. Don't worry, we have next topic is critical path method is there, so we will discuss it briefly in next slides. Okay, so far network planning was clear. Okay, in network model, in network planning model, we have to move to the preceding network, constructing the preceding network. So recently, new techniques called preceding networks has become popular. So nowadays, the preceding network has become more popular. This method uses activity on node network. So we have activity on node and we have activity on arrow. So CPM uses activity on arrow. So here we are using activity on node network where activities represent as nodes and the links between the nodes represents the sequence here. Okay. So this approach avoids some problems and provide more easy representation. So this is the preceding network diagram. So actually in preceding network, rules for the preceding network is so uh, a project network should have only one start node. Okay, it should have only one start node, and a project network should have only one end node, and a node has no duration. And sorry, a node has duration, even node has some duration, and links has no duration, link has no duration, and precedents are referred to the immediate precedents, preceding activities. So precedents are referred to the immediate precedence activities. Times move from left to right here also. Here a network may not contain loops. So here there are no loops here. And a network should not contain dangles. So we will discuss dangles in the next slides. So here this network does not contain loops and also does not contain dangles. Okay. So installation cannot start until program testing is completed. So only when the program testing is completed, then only we start the installation. Here, see this diagram. When the program test is completed, only we will start the installation. So program start cannot start until this code and data taken have completed. Both these two completed only, we move to the program test. When program test is completed, only we move to the installation. Okay. So this is called as constructing precedents. So note here, we do not take code and data taken as the precedence of installation. So instant precedence is program test only. We don't take code and data and the precedence. We will give preference precedence to the program test. Program test precedence are code data taken. Okay. So your time moves from left to right. So in precedence network, the nodes represents the activities and the lines between the nodes represent dependencies. These are the activities, these are the dependencies. Dependencies. Okay. Next we move to the next topic. So that is a network model should not contain dangles. So I already told you the data moves from left to right. Okay. So then we move to the network contains loops. Okay. Then we move to the dangle. Sorry. Okay. So a network moves to the so a network contains loop. So in preceding precedence network, there are no loops and there are no dangles are there. So first, what is the loop? So network contains loops. So we can also here times move from left to right only. So here we can also add arrows to the lines to give stronger visualization. So this figure represents a loop in the network. Okay. This figure denotes loop in the network. A loop represents an arrow that cannot occur in practice. Okay. This loop represents an arrow that cannot occur in practice. So this is code program. So see in this figure, it suggests that the program testing in this figure, program testing cannot start until the errors have been corrected. So the program testing only when will start only there are no errors in the program. So suppose if we draw the set of activities in a straight sequence repeating okay, site repeating. So eight number of times. So that will test the program. Okay. So a loop in an error in that represent a situation that cannot occur in practice. So program testing cannot start until the errors have been corrected. Okay. So loops uh, can be directly represented in a project network. So if you know the number of times you expected to repeat a set of activities, then we can draw them in a sequence repeating them for the appropriate number of times. Okay. So see here, if you draw a set of activities repeating, so if you don't know how many times the sequence is going to be repeated, we cannot calculate a single activity. Okay. So we cannot calculate, and single activity estimation takes too long and is tough for calculation. So we do not know the how many times the sequence is repeated. So we cannot calculate single activity estimation. So it takes too long and is tough for calculation. So larger network with complex loops are difficult to spot and construct. For a larger project, it is difficult to spot the error, and construct is very difficult. Okay, next move to dangles. So here, so what is a dangle? A dangle is a dangle activity such as writer user manual should not exist, as it is likely to lead to errors in subsequent analysis. So this dangling activity such as right user manual should not exist as it lead to error representation. So a dangle, this is the situation we call it as a dangle. So a dangle here, what is meant by the diagram is what the project will be finished once the program has been installed and a user manual is written. So when there is user manual is written, then only the program is installed. So here write the user manual is a dangling activity. Okay, user manual is a dangling activity. So we have to redraw the network with a final completion activity, which is at least in this case it is most probably a more accurate. So here the figure implies that the project is complete once the software has been installed and the user manual is written. Both are complete. So we should draw the network with a final completion activity. So here by connecting these two with the sign off, we remove the dangling. Uh, remove the dangling. Okay. Okay, clear? Anybody has any doubt? Please write a message in chat box. Here we writer user manual is the dangling problem. So we solve with this representing the to the sign off and the installation is to sign off. Then we solve the dangle here. Okay, clear? Next one are representing lagged activities. So representing lagged activities. So we might come access situations where we wish to undertake two activities in parallel here. Two activities in parallel. So as long as there is a big between the two, we might wish to document amendments to a program as it was being tested, particularly if evaluating a prototype. So we might come across the situation where we wish to undertake two activities in parallel. So there is a lag between the two. So we might wish to document amendments to a program as it is being tested. So in such cases, we wish designate an activity called test and document amendments. So in this situation, we would designate an activity called test and document amendments. So here lag activities are two activities that will be undertaken in parallel, but there is a lag between them. Okay, here two activities will be undertaken at the same time with some lag between them. So document amendments will start one day after. So test property starts and finish 2 days later. So then the test property ends. So here we have to give the test and document amendments. This would generally start one day after testing has begun and finish a little after completion of testing. Okay, so this is about representing lagged activities. So for this, we will generally start one day after testing has begun and finish a little after completion of testing. That we call it a lagged activities. Okay, clear? Next we move to the next topic, adding time dimensions. So see here. So in this the critical path approach, planning the project in such a way that it is completed as quickly as possible. We have to identify delayed activities. Okay. So we have to adding the time dimensions here. So after we create the logical network model showing the activities, the interrelationship between those activities, we should think of when each activity will be undertaken. So here the critical path approach. He see here the critical path approach is concerned with planning the project in such a way that it will be completed as quickly as possible, and also identify the activities where a delay in their execution is likely to affect. So the overall end date of the project or later activities start dates. Okay. Okay, so identify the activities here. First, the overall end date of the project. Okay. Next, late activities start date. We have to identify. Next one, for each activity, we will estimate its duration. Okay. Then the network is then analyzed by carrying out the forward pass and a backward pass. So by adding the time dimension, we are taking here forward pass and backward pass. So the two primary objectives for the completion of the project is, first one, project should be completed as quickly as possible, and also I already told you to identify the activities whereas delay in their execution effort overall end date of the project. Here it requires to estimate the duration for each activity. So this is the adding time dimension to the. So here there are two types is there. The method requires estimation of duration for each activity is forward pass and backward pass. So this is the precedent network of example. So we are adding time dimension to the each each program. So here see here hardware in this adding time dimension. See here hardware selection duration duration is 6 weeks. We are provide no precedence. Okay. So here here hardware design time is 6 weeks, duration is 6 weeks. Okay. Then software design 4 weeks. Then user training or user manual is 10. Okay. Then we view build hardware. So build or install hardware, we are giving preference 3 and precedence to A. Here this is precedence to A. Okay. And here D 4 weeks precedence to B, and E here precedence to B. Okay, and G here precedence to F. See this diagram. This is the precedence network with time dimensions. See the diagram here, precedence network with time dimension. So user training is there, so it has precedence E and F. User training has the precedence see here. There is a connection is there E and F user precedence. Sorry, user training. Next, installation test C comma D. Installation and test C. Okay, C comma D. So this is the about the adding the time dimensions to the activity network. So here we are using for this the method requires two activities. What is forward pass and another one is backward pass. So what is forward pass? So here activities. Here activities. A, B, and F. A, B, and F may start immediately. So the earliest date for the their start is 0. So activity A will take 6 weeks. The earliest it can finish is 6 weeks, and the activity F will take 10 weeks. The earliest it can finish is 10 weeks, and the activity 6 can start as soon as A. See here. as soon as A has finished. So it is earliest start date is 6 weeks. Start date is 6 weeks. So it will take to completion 3 weeks. So the earliest it can finish is total 6 plus 3 9 weeks. And activity D and E can start as soon as B is completed. So when B is completed, activity D and E can start. So the earliest they can each start is that 4 weeks. So activity D will take 4 weeks. So that earliest it can is 4 plus 4, 8 weeks. And activity E will take 3 weeks, and here B is 4 weeks. So 4 plus 3, it will finish is 7 weeks. Okay. And move to the activity G. Here start until both E and F have been completed. So E and F completed only, we move to the G. So it cannot start until the week 10, the latter week of. So the latter week 7, that is activity E, that is 4 plus 3 7. Okay. And 10 for activity F and 10 for activity F. So it takes 3 weeks and finishes in 13, week 13. So similarly, activity H cannot start until week 9. The latter of two earliest finish dates for preceding activities C and D. So here the project will be complete when both activities H and G have been completed. So the earliest the project completed date will the latter of the weeks 11 and 13, that is week 13. Okay. So after 13, week 13, the project is completed. So that is, we call it as a forward pass. So it is easy to calculate the earliest date on which activity may be started and completed. So an example project specification with defined activity, duration and precedence requirements. So in the diagram, so this is forward pass. By adding those values, we calculating here. Okay. 11 and 13, I already told you. So when the actual date is known, calculation will be carried out using the actual dates. So we can use day or week as shown in this figure. The forward pass and the calculation earliest start dates are carried accordingly. So activities A, B and F start immediately. So the earliest date for their start is 0. So we start, the earliest date is 0. See here. So this is 0, this is 0. So far everyone clear? This is 0, 0, 0. And activity will take 6 weeks. It will finish in 6 weeks. And activity will take 4 weeks. It will finish in 4 weeks. That will take 10 weeks. Okay, see here. C cannot until after completion of A only, then we'll move to the 6. 6 plus 3, 9 weeks. 4 plus 4, 8 weeks. 7 plus, here 4 plus 3, 7 weeks. Okay. See diagram clearly, you understand? Sorry. So activities D and E will start as soon as B is completed, because D and E precedence is B. So total 4 plus 4, 8, here 4 plus 3, 7. So activity G cannot start both E and F. So it will take finish 10 plus 3, 13 weeks. Here 10 plus 3, 13 weeks for G. So similar activity until 9 plus 2 weeks. Here 9 plus 2 we have for H is 9 plus 2, that is 11. Here 10 plus 3, that is 13 weeks. So I think there is a connection between these two. Okay, miss the connection. So there is a connection here. Okay, so the project will be complete when both activities H and G have been completed. Both H and G completed when the project is completed. The earliest project completion date will be 13 weeks. 11 weeks H is completed, after 13 weeks G is completed, then overall finishing of the project is 13 weeks. Okay, the result of the forward pass here, clearly understand about the forward pass, or any queries, please write a message in chat box. So when we have to represent the method require estimation of duration of each activity, we have here two methods are there. One is forward pass, another one is backward pass. So already explained about forward pass. Then we move to the backward pass. So clear or any doubt, please write a message in chat box. So from this diagram only, we design forward pass by adding the timings here, by adding the precedence values here. That is the difference. Okay, you draw this diagram for forward pass, and backward pass we have to draw this diagram. So then we talk about move about the backward pass. So there is a connection between E and G. So see here, for backward pass we move from forward pass. Now we move for the backward pass. So activities here, these are the end. These are the start and forward pass. These are the end. So we left H and G. Then we start with E and F. So E and F must be completed. The earliest start dates are 7. So the earliest start dates are start date or weeks are 7. That is 10 to 3, and sorry. So the last, see at the backward pass, the last completion date for each activity is G and H is assumed to be 13 weeks. So activity H must therefore start at 11 week. So start at 11 week and at least 13 minus 2. Okay. So it is 13 minus 2, and the last start date for activity G is 10. That is 13 minus 3. So that is 13 minus 3. So the last completion date for activity C and activity D is the last date at which the activity H must start. So that is week 11. So the latest start date of week 8. So this is week 8 is 11 minus 3, and the week 7 is 10 minus 3. And activities E and F completed by week 10. So the earliest start date week 7 is 10 minus 3, and respectively 0 is nothing but 10 minus 10. And activity B must be completed by week 7. The last start date of both activities D and E, that is 7 minus 4, that is 3. So the activity A must be completed by week 8. The last start week of the activity C is 8 minus 6, that is 2. And the last start date of the project start is the earliest of the latest start dates of activities A, B, and F. It does not start on time. Okay. So see here in backward pass is to calculate the last date at which each activity may be started and finished without delaying the end date of the project. So see this figure below after carrying the backward pass. 1 minute. So this is a backward pass. The latest completion of activities G is assumed is 13 weeks. Activity H must therefore start at the week 11 and week at the 11 and start at week 11 at the latest 13 minus 2 and the latest start date that for activity is latest activity for that is 13 13 minus 3 that equal to 10. Okay, see here. So at the latest 13 minus 2 and the latest start date for activity G is 10, that is 13 minus 3. Okay. The latest completion date for activities C and D is the last date at which activity it must start. Okay. Then activities D and E can start as soon as B is completed. So the earliest they can start is week activity D, which will take 4 weeks. Can therefore finish by week 8. So activity E, which will take 3 weeks, therefore the finish is 7. Here activity D is E is 7. Activity D is also activity C is 8 here. Then activity G cannot start until both E and F are being completed. It cannot therefore start until here week 10. E takes 7 weeks to complete. So 7 weeks to complete, but F takes 10 weeks and G itself takes 3 weeks and finishes it 10 plus 3, 13 weeks. So similarly, activity it cannot start until week 9. So H takes 2 weeks and it finishes in 11 weeks. So the project will complete when both activities so see here the latest completion date C and D is the latest must start the week. Okay. So activities E and F must complete by week 10. Okay, complete by week 10. So their earlier start dates are 7, 10 minus 3 and 0. For F is 0, that is 10 minus 10, that is 0. Okay. Activity B must be completed by week 7. The latest start for the both activities D and D is 7 minus 4, that is 3. So activity A must be completed by week 8. So latest start date for activity C is 2, that is 8 minus 6, that is 2. It is 3. See here, these are the values you are taken from after subtracting the value from preceding one. Okay. So this is about backward pass. So far clear or any doubt, please write a message in chat box. Understand backward pass, or once again I repeat backward pass. So forward pass we have no confusion because we start here, then we add this time, this weeks to this weeks. Since backward pass we have to subtract from the previous covered time. So you are confusing about that. So once again I am repeating the backward pass. See here, the backward pass is calculated last date at which each activity may be started and finished without delaying the end date of the project. The end date of the project is 13 weeks. Okay, so the latest completion for activity G and H already in forward pass. G and H is completed in 13 weeks. This is in 11 weeks. This is in 13 weeks, and completed in 11 weeks. This is in 13 weeks. So overall assumption for the completion of project is 13 weeks. So activity H must therefore start at 11 week. So backward pass we start at 11 week. At the latest completion of the end date is 13. So 13 minus 2, that is we start at 11 weeks. Okay. And the okay. So see the diagram here, and the latest start date for activity G is, so activity G is, see here, this is 13, 13 minus 3, that is 10. So the latest start date activity G is 13 minus 3, that is equal to 10. Then the latest completion date for activity G and C and D. Here for activity C and D. C and D is the latest date at which activity H must start. So C and D is the activity H start. Okay, C and D at which the activity H must start. H will start at the week 11. That is week 11. The last date of the week 8 is, that is 8, that is 11 minus 3. So 11 minus 3, that is 11 minus 3, that is 8. And week 7 is 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3, that is 7. Okay. So then we move to the activities E and F must be completed by 10. So their earliest start date of week is 7, that is 10 minus 3. And this earliest start is 0, that is 10 minus 10. Okay. So then we move to the activity B. Activity B must be completed by week 7. The last date of the for both activities D and E is 7 minus 4, that is 3. And we move to the activity A. Activity A must be completed by week 8. The last date for activity C is 8 minus 6, that is 2. So latest week is 2. So this is about backward pass. Please refer textbook once again for clear understanding. If any doubt, please write a message in chat box. So far we discussed about adding the time dimensions. There are the network is there, has analyzed by carrying out forward pass and backward pass. So forward pass calculate the earliest date at which activity may be started, finished. Okay, project completion time. And the backward pass calculate the last date at which activity may be started, finished, the float and the critical path. So this is about backward pass and forward pass. Uh, so, so far clear or any doubt, please write a message in chat box. Clear or any doubt? Any doubts, write a message in chat box or any queries. Otherwise, I am ending the session today. Tomorrow we will move to the next topics. After forward pass, then we move to the critical path. And last topic after completion of critical path, then we have left one topic in effort estimation, that is use case based estimation. Then we complete our third unit. Okay, tomorrow we will complete our third unit. So far clear or any doubt? Okay, thank you. Today I am ending the session.